Hello y'all, and welcome to YoungFolk Knits. Today I'm going to catch you up on a lot of sewing and some knitting and some plans and all the things. Hello y'all, and welcome back to YoungFolk Knits. My name is Casey, and this is a channel where I mainly like to share all about my love of fiber arts. So there's a lot of knitting, there's sewing, there's spinning, and just whatever else I might be up to at the moment. I also sometimes share about living on a small farm here in Arkansas, and my husband, myself, and our children are beekeepers. We love animals and gardens and chickens and spending time outdoors here in the foothills of the Ozarks. So if any of that sounds like it might be your cup of tea, then make sure and hit that subscribe button so you won't miss out on any future video content. Okay, so let's see, what is today? It's like the 20th or 21st of June, and that means that it's almost July and it is hot. It has just officially been the first day of summer, which meant it was the longest day of the year, which just meant it was more hours of the daylight to be hot in here in Arkansas. We're under a heat advisory. It's very humid. It's been over 100 degrees Fahrenheit already. This is not my weather. I think I was born in the wrong place. I really think I need to move to Canada or somewhere really high up in the northern hemisphere. That's okay. I'll just wear my little personal fan around my neck. It has been really busy around here. It is hay season. It's garden season. It's been very busy, and I have made very little progress on multiple knits. So instead, I've been focusing all of my knitting time on my test knit, which I can't share about yet, but very, 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 very soon. So I'll show you all what I have been putting the most of my time and energy into in just a few short weeks. While I have not made a lot of progress on all of my summer knits, I have instead hyperfixated on sewing. So I don't know if you're like me, but I've been in a funk, and if I don't feel like I can knit a lot, something about it, I even feel like I can't watch knitting YouTube. I just feel like I sort of block it out a little bit. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I feel bad that I'm not knitting more. I don't know the reason, but it's almost like more than I can handle, seeing what everybody else is knitting and all the beautiful progress that they're making. I don't know what's wrong with me. I have issues. So instead, I have hyper-fixated on sewing, which I don't even enjoy that much, but I love the finished product, and I can get an entire outfit sewn in a day or two, and it's just like instant gratification. So I have been doing a lot of sewing and a lot of linen fabric. Linen fabric is, I'm addicted to linen. It's just the absolute most wonderful thing to put on my body. I love it. And so I've been sewing quite a bit of breezy summer, more Arkansas appropriate clothes, and that has been nice to have some finished projects and sort of scratch that itch for me. I want to share a little bit about some of those projects, and I also would like today to really get going on my traveler's blanket. So I shared with y'all maybe last time about a blanket that I am making, which was designed by Addie from Ruby and Roses. And she is going to be having a Flowers Gone Wild collection, I believe is the name of it, releasing on the 29th of June. And she let me choose some colors from it. And when I got them in, I just thought, this is perfect for a serotonin boosting blanket that every time I look at it, I can just feel neon happiness. And so I showed you last time, but I had chosen the colors Meadow Sweet and Troika. And then I had gotten the Happy Place Minis bundle, which is this glorious little bouquet of minis. So I have this, and then I also have a skein left over from a previous collection, which is this beautiful, this was from the Taylor Swift collection. And I still have a few minis left from the Taylor Swift collection. So I'm also using Ruby and Roses yarn to knit a blanket for Penrose Knits, and it is coming soon. It's called the Stella Quilt Blanket, and I'm excited to share more about that with y'all soon. But today I have a goal, and it is to really get some progress done on this blanket, because I think it would be nice once I get it really in the groove to just have something that I can pick up and have some easy knitting that I don't have to have a chart, I don't really have to think about. And what I needed to do is actually get some longer needles. So I finally found my 60-inch US 7. It sort of put me back a little bit because I started trying to do some of it. I'll show you my skein that I had already caked up. And my 32-inch needles were not long enough, really. Like, it wasn't comfortable. I was afraid they were going to fall off. So I finally got my 60-inch US 7 needles. And what I need to do actually is cake up my yarn and cast on this beauty, and you guys can hang out with me while I do that.
In the morning when you walk away, my heart drops to the floor. They said it would get easier, but I don't know who for. Days move faster now, I swear. I can feel them slip away. But some things last forever, the love that never fades. It's easy to make promises for the young and free, but you kept every word you said, and you stayed true to me. We lean into the great beyond. There's more love yet to make, 'cause some things last forever, but love that never fades. Slowly as his mind lost more every day. Quietly she walked beside and tended in her way. Now the bed he built for two is cold, but her memories have stayed. Because some things last forever, the love that never fades. Dishes and tears, I'm standing here. I know it sounds cliche. A blanket of this history covers me today. In between the bliss and and underneath the ache, in the tenderness, a single thread remains. It's deeper than a sentiment, it's a fierce and holy rage. Some things last forever, but love it never fades. But love it never fades.
All right, I really think this blanket is going to be a lot of fun and give me some nice, gentle knitting to have in the background while I'm working on my other projects. I am an affiliate for Ruby and Roses, so I have linked my code in the description, and if you want to shop this update, which is happening on June 29th, then you can. And Addie has very sweetly offered a discount on her pattern, the Traveler's blanket, which is what I am making. And if you guys think that you might want to make this blanket too, if you have minis already, or if you want to get yarn for it, then you can get this pattern at a discount by using this code right here, and I will link to that to her pattern as well. I think it's a really cute pattern and a lot of fun. Let's chat a little bit about sewing. I have been on a binge and very hyper fixated on sewing. And one thing I have been wanting to do for a while is to take some of my old tablecloths. They're vintage embroidered tablecloths that were my great grandmother's and my grandmother's, and they're really fun and beautiful. They're this style right here. And I want to take them and turn them into a piece of clothing. I keep thinking maybe a dress, but I don't have a lot of them, and they're, you know, special sentimental value. So I wanted to practice first before I did it with some similar material. So I went to our antique store / thrift shop, and I was able to find 2 table linens that weren't the big long tablecloths like I have. They were more smaller table linens, but there was just enough for me to get one for the front, and then I used the other to cut out the back piece. I would say they're about 1 yard a piece, or maybe a little bit less, but I was able to use one for the front and one for the back, and I spent a total of $8. They did have a little bit of a stain on it, but I'm trying a few different things to work on getting that out. And I thought I would show y'all what I ended up making. So this is a tee pattern called the Georgia Tee from this maker right here at this pattern store. I can't remember the full name. It's Eliza or Elizabeth or something like that. And anyway, I love this tee. It's a very simple tee pattern, but I find it to be a very effective pattern. I make the second from the largest size, and I really like the bias binding and the simple cut. It is a boxy cut, but it fits well if you can pick the size you want with the right amount of ease. So I would look at the finished garment size. I would measure your bust and measure your hip and kind of decide how you want it to be. Do you want it to be a really oversized, boxy fit? Do you want it to fit a little bit more snugly? So just make sure you have enough room for your hips unless you choose to crop it. And pick you out a size based off of the finished garment measurement. That's what usually ends up working best for me. So I used one of the table linens for the front, and it has this super fun bottom hem that I just left the edging as it was, and I moved my paper pattern down to cut it out so that the bottom just included what was already there. And that makes for a very easy finished hem on the bottom because it's already done. And since I used a different table linen, it was very simple. It just had a very little bit in the corners of this one. Otherwise, it was just a plain white linen table linen. Wow, the words aren't coming. I decided to use the top piece of the front one that I had cut off when I made the neck, and I attached it to the bottom of my back piece so that I could have the same finished bottom all the way around. And yes, you can see where it's attached, but it's not wildly obvious from a distance, and I think it gives it a nice continuity around the bottom. So this was much easier than I was worried it could have been, and a few things that actually really helped me make some modifications to this and to some of the other patterns that I'm going to show you today is the fact that I've recently taken some classes from the sponsor of today's video, and that is Skillshare. So Skillshare is actually the largest online learning community for creatives like us. It has such a wide breadth and depth of topics that whatever your interest is, you can find some classes on it. As I've mentioned before, I'm multi-craftual. I know most of you are as well. And I really love honing new skills in those different crafts. Some of the classes I'm really interested in taking soon are some of the watercolor classes. I have actually already taken some on gouache and I loved it, but they actually have learning paths that you can follow in a specific area. So I think that's what I'm going to do for the watercolors and painting. But what I have been enjoying so much lately is the sewing classes. The one in particular I have really enjoyed is Sewing Basics, Make Your Own Clothes. So this class was taught by Denise Bayron, and I feel like it really takes you from beginner to advanced because it uses a learn by doing approach. So you're going to get your tools out and you are actually going to be following these step-by-step instructions, and you are going to have done it by the end of the class. You're going to feel like a pro. I really appreciated how she went through in depth the different seam styles, flat felled, French seams. These are some areas that I wanted to try and master, and I feel like it is really showing in my garments. Look at the inside seams of these garments. It has made such a difference for me. While these classes are taught by experts, you also then have the ability to post your project, share it with the other students, and discuss what you learned, maybe what you need help with. And so the community is really very helpful in learning new skills. I think that makes it a really great platform to join. So I'm really excited to partner with Skillshare because the first 500 people that follow the link in my description will receive 1 month free. So choose your topic, illustration, graphic design, painting, sewing, music, whatever it is that interests you, you can get started today. Thanks again, Skillshare, for sponsoring today's video. All right, let me show you a few other sewn items that I'm very excited to have finished as well. One of them is actually what I'm wearing. So it's a little hard to see all of it while I've got it on, but I will definitely add some pictures. This is a pattern by Sew House 7, and it is called the Remy Raglan. So with this one, it comes with multiple options, and what I ended up doing is using the split front so that I was able to have this little section that is open, and then you can add a button in a button loop and it closes at the top. And then the other modification I did is a free expansion pack that you can get to go with the pattern, and it is the gathered sleeves. So I feel like it just gives it a lot of drama and romance and I really like it. I used linen from Blackbird Fabrics, and this is their washed linen, I believe. It's either their washed linen or their everyday linen. It's one of the linens. I'm actually wearing it with some linen pants I got from Not Perfect Linen. I find that it's, you know, a kind of flowy and maybe a bit of a boxy fit. I think that the drapier your fabric, the less big it might look, but what I like to do is French tuck it. I just find it the easiest. I know a lot of people don't like French tuck, but oh my gosh, I don't know if I could live without that. I just do it all the time. I just sort of tuck my shirt in and go, and it is what it is. So these are my sleeves. It's gathered and it has a nice little cuff. And then it is a raglan construction with bias binding at the neckline. I really am a huge fan of bias binding. I just think it looks so neat, and to me, it's just an easier option than trying to fold and then it probably turning out and you seeing the inside seams. I feel like a bias binding works really well for all my necklines. So that's what you do on the Georgia top, and that's what I did with this one, and it's worked out really well. Okay, I also shared that I have been working on a ranunculus, and I wanted to make something in this gingham fabric that I had to go with it, and I wasn't sure what to make. Well, I decided to make another Tate romper. So here it is. I did this one a little differently than I have my others because I decided to do the tie straps instead of the sewn fixed in place straps. And I think the bows are really cute. I also think that they're not too high profile, so that I like to often wear a sweater or a top over my Tate rompers and turn them into pants. A lot of times I'll do that by adding a belt and tucking my shirt, French tucking my shirt, and then it just suddenly looks like pants. And I found that the bows don't really cause too much of an issue. In fact, I wore it with this shirt the other day and you really couldn't even see it. It didn't bother me at all. I did an invisible zipper, which is not invisible because I only had, well, I had the wrong color. I only had a creamy color and it doesn't bother me at all. And I found that this fabric ended up being a bit, it's linen, it's 100% linen. I got this from Black Mountain yarn store, and they carry a lot of Merchant Mills, which I love being able to get Merchant Mills linen from somewhere here. Don't have to ship from overseas, so make sure and check them out. But this Merchant Mills linen is a bit stretchier, so I mean, not stretchy. It's not like it's got rayon or anything in it, but the weave was not quite as tight, so I feel like it did actually grow a little bit. And because of that, I ended up having to go back after I had made it, and I actually took it in a little bit in the back by folding it in and sewing a seam down the back. And then I used my serger to finish it so it will be clean on the inside. You really can't see it all that much from the back because this is a bit of a busy pattern and my hair covers it anyway, so I am totally cool with that. But the pants are big and flowy, and this is supremely drapey, so you get the swish and the drama, and I really, really like it. I'm excited. The only thing is that the pants come all the way to the floor, even with my clogs that I wear, my Sangrins clogs. And so because of that, I may actually go back and turn the hem up and shorten them by about an inch. But I also don't like it when they're too short. I definitely like these to be long. And I feel like it elongates your legs, which I guess I don't really need because I'm 5'8". I do have long legs proportionally. But I don't know. I'm going to put a picture up and I'll show you what it looks like. And then I'm considering going back and shortening the hem. That's a decision that still needs to be made. But yeah, that was a fun Tate romper. It's probably the last Tate romper I'm going to make for a little bit. I now have 3. So I have this one, I have the yellow one, and I have my pink and orange striped one. And I think that's probably good for right now. I think I'm probably got enough Tate rompers to last me for a bit. I also sewed 2 more pairs of short pants, 2 more pairs of pants, Pomona pants, and another Georgia tee, and I have cut out a shift dress, a pair of Florence pants, another Georgia tee. What all do I have cut out? Something else too. Next week or the week after, there will be a lot more sewing content because I just can't even show it all today. I'll get flustered trying to talk about all of it. But I know this is a knitting podcast, but I think that y'all are probably interested enough in sewing as well. Hopefully y'all are okay with me sharing about all the sewing stuff because honestly, that's where I have been lately. So it's here. Okay, also, y'all, it is Tour de Fleece. Tour de Fleece is about to start. I really, really, really need to try to finish up my Mockingbird shawl. And I think that to do that, I'm going to have to spin up one more braid to have enough of the Ozark Dreaming colorway by Primrose Yarn Co. So, I'm going to definitely do that. And then we'll see what other fiber I decide to spin with for Tour de Fleece because I've got some options and I'm planning. If you guys are doing Tour de Fleece or if you just think you might spend a little bit extra during the month of July just for fun because a lot of other people are doing it during Tour de Fleece, let me know. Or if you're interested in getting into spinning, you know, I've never even shared about all of my support spindles and my other rabbit hole that I went down. I should really show y'all my support spindles sometime. I've got Spindle Shop and Enid Ashcroft. Let's see, Texas Jeans, and yeah, I'll have to show y'all those maybe next time. But if you aren't really interested in getting a spinning wheel and you want to spin, I think a support spindle is a lot of fun. So that's another cool way to get into it, and it's also very tactile. It's very hands-on. You are really connecting with the fiber and the spinning, and even more so than a spinning wheel. I feel like it's very basic connection with the spinning. So I think that's really meditative and fun and a really nice way to kind of get into the groove of doing some making for a while. So support spindles are another fun rabbit hole that I don't suggest because it is a whole nother hobby we don't have time for or the money for. So what are we doing? Today is pure chaos, y'all. It's pure chaos. If you're still here, I'm sorry. Okay, I want to show you one other thing and then I'm going to chat a little bit about what I've been watching, reading, all of that good stuff. Okay, I have just recently joined the affiliate program with Sewrella Yarns and I got a box in from them and I wanted to show you what I got. So this is part of their garden collection. And the first part of the box is a kit that they have available for the mini mock neck tee. Now, tank. Yeah, tank. Now, I have told y'all I want to make a mini mock neck tank in like 5 different colors. I've already making a blue one, and then I got this color, and it's this really lovely green, and it comes on their silk sock base, which is 50% superwash and 50% silk. It's 438 yards, 100 grams. I think this is going to be an amazing summer yarn, but not just for the summer. I think this is going to be lovely to wear next to skin and a sort of year-round bottom layer that you could put a cardigan over, you could put a long sleeve shirt over. It's a great base layer pattern. So I'm going to make that. They have kits available in all their colors for the mini mock neck tank. And then I also got this Rifle Paper Company mug. Isn't it gorgeous with that gold? And a tape measure that matches it. It's beautiful. It has the blue and the floral and the gold for the pull tab on the tape measure. It's really fun. Now, I've also heard so many things about their wool wash. So they sent me the Yuzu Grove scent. Yes, I can confirm it smells delicious. It is very citrusy, gardeny, summery. And then I got the same scent in their hand cream. This is a very creamy, rich hand cream. I like it a lot. And last but not least, I got the Pearl Tea in the Morning Mimosa flavor. So I am not a coffee drinker. I actually hate coffee flavor. I hate coffee, period. I am only a tea drinker. I love tea, and tea is part of my daily ritual. It brings me a lot of peace and joy in just that simple act of making the tea and drinking the tea. I really love tea. I think this is a really cool little fun thing that they have available at Sewrella. So I will put my affiliate link in the description box. So if y'all would like to check out Sewrella Yarn, then feel free to follow the link. Little update on my entertainment lately. So last time we chatted, I had mentioned that I had found Northern Exposure, and it was available on Prime, on Amazon Prime. And literally everybody commented and said that they had watched it and that they loved it and that I should watch it. So I am watching it, and it is hilarious. So first of all, absolutely a product of its time. Someone else commented that, and I could not agree more. There are, you know, it was the 90s, and it wasn't even like the late 90s. It was like 1994, and you can tell the way that it's a product of its time. It's also hilarious and not depressing at all. It's very upbeat, and it's very quirky and campy and crazy. And John Corbett, who, I don't know if you've seen My Big Fat Greek Wedding, but I love that movie. And John Corbett was, I think one of the first places I remember him from is My Big Fat Greek Wedding. This is before that, and he plays a radio DJ in the middle of nowhere, Alaska, and he's cuckoo and hilarious. So it's a very funny group of characters, and it's a very easy show to watch so far. It's not like I've, watched the whole thing or anything, but thank you for the suggestion. Oh, y'all have no idea how excited I have been because Brat Pack documentary was being teased, and okay, I was not born until 1988, like the end of 1988, but I love the 80s. And I loved all of the 80s movies. I grew up watching all of the 80s movies. I still watch all of the 80s movies. And I love the Brat Pack. I was so excited for this documentary to come out on Hulu. So the documentary is actually called Brats, and it was done by Andrew McCarthy. I have not actually got to watch it yet, which is, I don't know what's happening, but life has been crazy, and I was so excited and desperate for it to come out, and now I have not even got to fully watch it yet. If you've watched it, let me know if you liked it, and if you love 80s movies. Who loves Andrew McCarthy and Molly Ringwald in Pretty in Pink? Classic. Speaking of sewing your own clothes, she was a style icon. If you've seen the movie, you know. If you know, you know. I finished a few books lately, none I'd recommend, but I did just realize that somehow I have not listened to the latest Richard Osman Thursday Murder Club book. So I had bought it a long time ago or I had used a credit to get it on Audible, and I can't believe that, I don't know, somehow it got buried under a few books whenever I got multiple ones in a sale. So I've pulled that back up, and I'm starting that, and I'm excited because I love this series. I absolutely adore the characters in it. Elizabeth is a hoot, and it's just this rockin' group of 70-year-olds that I want to be BFFs with. So I'm excited to listen to this book. I'll let you know if it's as good as the others. And that has pretty much been life lately. Between busy things outside. Oh, goat names. Y'all came through for me with goat names. I about died with all the suggestions. I loved them all so much. I feel like I need 500 goats so that I can use all of the names. Superb. Y'all are very good at coming up with names. if I was ever having another baby, I'd be like, all right, can you please pick me out a name? Very creative names. Very, very nice job. There are so many good ones. We don't actually have the goats yet. There's a lot of prep work that goes into it, because goats, you cannot hardly keep a goat in. They are little Houdinis. They're very ornery, and you almost cannot keep them from escaping. So we're trying really hard to get a nice fenced in area that has a little bit of electric fencing as well, because that's one of the only things that works to help keep them in and hopefully keep coyotes out. We also have to have a nice shelter for them, and so we want to make sure everything's really prepared well. So we have not got the goats yet. Final decision on the names when we do get the goats. More information on that soon. All right, y'all, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I am so thankful, and it means so much to me that y'all return to watch my little podcast, and thank you. Just thank you. I really appreciate you all. Thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging out with me. Also, don't forget that the first 500 people to click the link in my description can get 1 month free of Skillshare, and you can learn a new craft that you have been interested in. All right, enjoy your making, and until next week, happy knitting, y'all.